Not hello. Hello, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us. Hopefully you can hear us. But I'm here with Danae and Andy. Thank you guys very much for coming.
Hello.
And we're going to be doing our teardown. And I think it would be great to start off just like introducing each of you. Where do you come from? What are your roles? Just so that people can understand what it is that you do. Following that, we're going to share the screen from my machine, and they are going to try and get started with the product with Briefing Room. And we're going to watch them try and do that and see if it works. So let's learn a bit about you.
Sure.
Then we can learn a bit about the product, and then we can kind of jump in. So, cool. Danae, tell me.
Sure. So I'm Danae. I'm Chief Marketing Officer at CareSourcer, and CareSourcer is a marketplace that helps people find care for older people. I've been there for about a year, and before that, I've had a weird meandering journey in tech. I was a software engineer, then I was kind of a web designer for a while, and then I kind of somehow moved into marketing by way of making a website about lingerie.
Okay.
Just as blogs were a thing. I made a blog about lingerie, and then suddenly I was a marketer.
Yeah.
And then I came to FreeAgent after that, where I worked with Andy, and then now onto CareSourcer.
Cool.
So.
And what's been the difference? I mean, when you joined FreeAgent, it was probably at a slightly later stage than you joining CareSourcer, or was it around the same stage?
So I joined FreeAgent at about 30 people, and I joined CareSourcer at about 12 people.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Relatively, definitely there was a stage in between that I got to have with CareSourcer that I wasn't at for FreeAgent. Things were a bit more kind of tidy by the time I got to FreeAgent.
Okay.
But there was still, I left at about 120 people or something like that, so quite a lot of really interesting growth in that kind of stage, which is fun. And now CareSourcer is now at about 35 people. Wow. So kind of going through that again.
That's really cool. And in terms of the way that CareSourcer develops or works on their product, obviously you don't work anymore on the technical side of things. However, are you still involved in that process, and how does it work?
Yeah, massively. So CareSourcer is the purest cross-functional company I've ever kind of seen or worked with. So we do have functional teams, and that I'm Chief Marketing Officer, but almost everything that we do is within, at the moment, 3 cross-functional teams. So all of our growth is cross-functional. Our Director of Growth works with other marketers, product people, designers, our support team, our biz dev teams. So everybody is within the cross-functional teams. Okay. So everybody's involved in product, everyone's involved in marketing. We're really getting we're trying to get the users' voices into everything, and kind of really mixing it up that way. So yeah, it's everybody's all up in everybody's business.
So when there's a new feature or a new tool or something that you're creating, is there a set process that it goes through, or is it still like a little bit more organic? Let's try this out, let's test it internally and then see, or what happens? Yeah,
so we use a process from something called the Art of Action. Okay. So we I think Skyscanner uses it. So we brief at a company level, and then that goes down to briefing at the kind of products level, and then from there the individual teams kind of go to it. So if we say try to increase this conversion percentage, and at a company level, so that's the big high-level objective, then everybody kind of takes it from there. And so they'll say, here are the things that we think that are going to contribute the most to it. We're going to try these tests and see how they go. And we, as a leadership team, we don't get involved in the how. We just make sure that we've set the context correctly as part of the back briefing process. So that's how we decide what we're going to do. And then from there, they work on just a Kanban kind of sprint basis, on fortnightly sprints, kind of working towards that as that kind of cross-functional team.
Cool. And is it fortnightly sprints? Is that just is the whole company on that? Is all the cross-functional?
At the moment, yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, Andy.
Hi.
Hi. So you're from FreeAgent.
Yes.
What do you do there?
I am the team lead of the user experience team there.
Okay.
So yeah, basically that involves learning about our customers and helping everyone else that builds stuff at FreeAgent. Build it in a way that's useful for our customers.
Okay. So and so how do you monitor or engage with users to see how they're using it? Is it a lot of automation, or like analytics, or is it or customer interviews and things?
Yeah, there's I think mainly I'm involved in customer interviews.
Okay.
Qualitative feedback. We've got a data science team who deal with the sort of data part of it and the quantitative side. Yes, my time spent chatting to people, listening to them and observing them. So I think it's not just about how they use our product, but it's more strategical. So we'll just say, what are our customers trying to get done that our product isn't allowing them to get done well.
And are there tactics that you use when talking to those customers in order to try and suss out what it is that they're looking to do, or is it quite directive?
There's quite a few tactics or methods that I use. One of them's jobs to be done methodology, and that's got a really interesting interview technique, which helps take people through what happened to them, so you can sort of unpack the truth behind their story and what they really need, because it's really hard to identify what people really need. So that's one of the tactics.
And how do you validate the kind of assumptions that you're up against when you're talking to someone versus how they're actually using the product? Because I know that's certainly a challenge with us with Kendaba, even though we're a really early stage. People say that they want X, Y, and Z, but they don't actually use it that way. They use it in a slightly different way. So how do you kind of cater to what they actually need and still make sure that what they're saying they want is valid?
Oh, we don't. We just build it.
You just build it. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for your
There's box tick of
No.
So if we do proper discovery work, and it's not just what they need from our product, but the jobs that they're trying to get done in their life, which regardless of what they need from our product, that is what they need to get done, and that'll then move on to a design process. We'll use lean methodology a lot to, say we've done the discovery, but still a lot of what we've learned is an assumption still. And if we constantly keep that mindset, we'll build something, the process, build something quite lightweight, and test if that's truly what they need.
We were having conversations this morning around true lean MVP, no code MVPs versus what we're doing, for example, and also the issue of feature creep, which affects a lot of certainly early stage companies and probably later stage companies as well, that you're trying to solve issues first. You're trying to solve all the issues for one customer, and then you start to try and solve issues for multiple different types of customers. So how are there kind of examples that you guys have lived through where maybe you've become aware of either a feature creep or a potential to go that way, and then you've worked to correct that, or how do you deal with that kind of discussion? Because you obviously don't want to stifle innovation, but how do you choose that?
I think we can lean on our experience at FreeAgent for that, and I think right from the start, actually, FreeAgent's had a really clear idea of who their customer base is, and we get feature requests right, left, and centre, which is it's great. It's great that our customers are that engaged, and obviously we've got other pressures to build certain features, but we've held strong. We really know our customers. We've got personas, and just choose the right opportunities to say no rather than let it get out of hand. I think we've learned from experience, if you build something, it's impossible to retract that. So I think it's really, really important to be very clear on what right features are to build.
And from an earlier stage, coming from somewhere like FreeAgent, and after you had been there through, we're going to call it maturity, or a little more maturity. Do you take some of the things that you experienced while there and try and maybe gently help people? I don't know if you want to call it educate or share that experience. And do you see some of the same trends happening with CareSourcer?
I think in general, it's amazing how much, despite the fact that there are different industries and even a different kind of model, how much experience you can bring from one startup to another. And it's really interesting about the MVPs. To answer your earlier question, what I'm finding is if you keep the MVP scrappy enough, it's hard for scope creep to come in, because you literally can't add to it yet. Because we MVP'd a referral program at CareSourcer, and the initial MVP was literally a Google form and a phone call afterwards. And there's not much you can do to enhance that. They can ask all they want, but at that particular point, you can then start to take that feedback and really put it into the next stage. But if you're scrappy enough, you literally can't do anything else, which is super helpful actually. So we ran that to the point where we really felt like it was valid. validated kind of the channel that we were trying to validate. So it was more of like an MVP for marketing and product together, and then kind of pulled it into the next stage where we're building it in. But now we've got all that great feedback. But if the initial feedback that we got, it could have taken us in a really different direction, but it actually couldn't. So that was super helpful as well. But
now why couldn't it have? Because of your internal discipline, or because
the product was so scrappy? Right. Like we had other priorities as a business, and so we said, okay, well, we're going to make this a Google form and a phone call for now, and then we'll run it for this amount of time. Moved on to other things. Engineers were busy on other stuff, and whilst that was happening, they were giving feedback and saying, oh, but this would be better, or that would be better, and we're like, well, it is what it is for now. And then actually it turned out that what it was for now was exactly what we needed, and with a few tweaks on the side. But we also did learn a lot more about the customers as part of that, and it really helped with our segmentation. And I think that's probably the biggest difference so far, is we know FreeAgent is very good at knowing exactly who their customers were. So when I joined, it was very clear, whereas CareSourcer, it knows a lot, but it's still adding color to all those different kind of segments,
and pulling it out,
and stuff like that really is adding a lot more color to everything, which is brilliant. And now we know exactly who our referral program is great for, and now it's much easier to go and find them. But we also know that we need to tweak it for some of the other segments, because it just doesn't make sense to them.
And there's a difference between knowing that a problem exists. Great, you know that the problem exists. Perfect. But then what is the actual solution to that problem? And is the solution redefining and recreating the wheel, or is it to try using a different wheel to give you more data to say, we know exactly why this doesn't work because we tried to use it, right? And and that goes back to lean methodology, right? And just trying to make do with what you have, to kind of beat yourself over the head to say, we know exactly what we have to change so that it's more efficient.
Feel the pain. That's what we talk about
a lot. Exactly. Right. Well, what we're doing here is not in keeping with like pure lean methodology, partially because we're just, I don't know what you want to call it, a non-lean methodology maker. Maybe it's maker methodology, or build it and see. Or what have you, but we've described kind of our process, and for adherence to the kind of strict lean methodology, I think we're not in keeping with that at all.
That matters, though, does
it?
It is,
exactly.
You just say there's lots of methodologies, but it's idealistic
in
a lot of ways. So you just draw from bits
there's different tools for different jobs.
And our excuse, or at least what we're hiding behind, is that we're instead of limiting what it is that we're working on, we're limiting the amount of time that we're spending on a problem. So we're the constraint for us is the week. Something is going to happen at the end of the week. The thing is going to be usable. Is it going to be the right thing? Maybe not. Is it going to actually address a problem that exists? Maybe not. Is it going to be a problem, but it's actually a completely different market that we thought? Maybe not. But we'll have something by the end of it that we can then either iterate on, or pivot, or say, you know what?
We've explored that, and
it doesn't work.
So 6 months building it.
Exactly. So that's the kind of that's the flip side of I guess you can experiment all you want, but if you don't get something out there and just test it, you might be deluding yourself for years, right?
And that's the value of it.
Exactly.
That's why I've got a funny relationship with the word fail in the context of lean, because if it's done properly, you've got a good hypothesis, and you prove whether it's true or false. You've not failed in any way.
Exactly.
Therefore, you've arguably won a lot when you prove an idea is not valuable.
Because you're not wasting resources on it anymore.
And we've been talking to lots of different people this week. I think we're going to end up having more than 40 conversations that we've been recording and sharing all across the spectrum in terms of founders, investors, and makers. And there is this kind of mentality among makers that just like building things. They don't really look at it from a perspective of a business necessarily, but it's just about building stuff. And I was talking with one that everyone's going to see tomorrow, asking him about, he runs a very large maker community called Indie Hackers, and asking him about like, what are the validation tests that you go through before you decide to make something. And he kind of he was thinking about it for a second, but he was like, to be honest, I don't. I just build it, and then do people use it? And if they don't, I move on. And it's like, I wish I had that that confidence, but also that ability, right? Okay, so why don't we get into this and actually see what you think?
Sure.
So probably would help a little bit to just tell you a bit about the problem that we're looking to address, and why we came to that. And I'd love if you have questions, and feel free to drill down, and most of my answers might be I don't know, and that's fine, right? But so the market that we're going after are early stage startups, particularly founders that have some shareholders, and they don't really know how to keep them up to date. They don't like sending email updates. Nice. They also don't necessarily know how to make sure that their investors are engaged. Oftentimes early stage investors they have lots and lots of companies. They have very little bandwidth. And early stage is the riskiest stage, and it's also when the smallest problems are the biggest deal, because they're usually about money, right? So one of the challenges is how can you stand out as an early stage company with your existing shareholders, and make sure that when I talk to you as one of my investors, I know that I'm not going to have to explain to you the whole business and our past 6 months, because I have a feeling that you've been engaged and you know what we're doing. And then the second reason why that paradigm is quite helpful is that a lot of early stage companies also engage with later stage investors that they're not even pitching, and they add them to their email updates as an awareness building campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in a year's time, when I come and meet with you because you're a Series A investor, you've had a year's worth of my email updates, and so even if you don't really know what we're talking about, you've seen our name. Maybe we might have done just a tiny bit to get a little bit of validation out in front of you. So the issue that we're looking at is from the investor side. It's an issue of bandwidth, and from the founder side, is an issue of engagement and trying to how to give me the confidence that you guys are either really engaged or you're not. So I shouldn't really be spending my time trying to convince you to get engaged. So that's the problem.
It's a great problem to help with.
But our target though is, because it's early stage founders. Early stage founders are incredibly diverse in terms of their thinking. They're thinking about investment in the first place. Their considerations as to whether or not investors are a resource to be used or just a pain to be dealt with. So there are a lot of different people that approach this differently. And so from a hardcore customer pain point or a customer persona, we're looking at companies that are going into accelerators or who have been through an accelerator program, because that means they've taken on external investment and external advice at a really early stage, so they're probably willing to be doing best practice stuff. So our solution is one, a really easy way to create those email updates and trying to make it a little bit fun, and then two, to try and provide a beautiful experience in some way for the investors that's very, very low friction, that also gives those founders good engagement numbers and good analytics. So our solution is called Briefing Room. And the idea is you can create an email update, and then you can create different rooms. We're calling them rooms, which is like a little dashboard that you can create for your company. You can create multiple rooms. So let's say if you want to share all the information with your shareholders, and then you want to have a different list where you don't share as much. Those that then get sent out with every email update that you send. And each of your shareholders or stakeholders get a passwordless link that takes them to their personalized experience. So hopefully, as an investor, you're feeling like, oh, okay, this is a nice thing. They're investing in a reporting mechanism, but it's also not like, give me all of your data, right? So you kind of get in control. Anyway, that's a big background. Maybe I shouldn't have gone into that too much, but we can.
What do people do just now?
What do they do? What you mean in terms of trying to solve this?
Or keeping their investors engaged with the process, or.
It's a really good question. So it depends, obviously. So some don't send updates at all. Some will send like quarterly big investor reports that they spend like several hours or days working on. The best practice is to send short monthly email updates. So but a lot of people just don't really know how to do that, or they don't know what information to share. Do I share that we're going through a really tough time, or do I not? That's actually a really tough thing to do. Some also use tools like, if you've heard of DocSend or Attach.io, these are tools that are designed mostly for sales, and they allow you to send like PDFs, like protected PDFs, so that I can send it to you and then I can deactivate the link later on, or I can replace the link later on.
Okay.
But I can also monitor like how much time are you spending looking at that. People use it also for pitch decks.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I send you a pitch deck and I see that it's 10 slides, I can see that you spent like 5 minutes on slide 5.
3.
Yeah, exactly. Or got to slide 3 and you exactly.
Failed.
But yeah, exactly. But those tools are for things like PDFs, and they're kind of designed for sales. So that's another kind of solution that they use. And those are the kind of the two biggest ways that they engage right now.
Cool.
Okay.
Great.
Any other questions about it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Cool. So what we're going to do is I'm going to switch to my screen. So everyone should be able to see this. And what I want you to do is you're going to be creating an account.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to try and create an account. And I want you to try and create a room.
Mm-hmm.
And also try and create an update. And just talk us through exactly what you're doing, how you're feeling about a certain page, how you're feeling about a certain button. Tell us everything that's going through your mind when you're seeing this, and don't be afraid to be brutal.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah.
Do you
Let's
want
go.
to drive or do you want me to drive?
And you're closest, you drive.
I'll drive.
and I'll
Okay.
Shout.
So I'm going
I'll
to.
shout directions.
Backseat driver.
You should have taken that. Oh.
I'm going to dismiss the cookie pop-up as a starter.
Yeah.
I feel like we are in accord about this. Oh, I'm going to try to. I can't
think
dismiss
that
the
that
cookie
actually
pop-up.
might be my weird settings.
Oh, how are you clicking?
You have to press down, and it's not a touch.
Oh, okay.
I kept clicking on bad things.
This is gonna. Oh, and the scrolls backwards.
Oh, I'm
as
sorry.
well.
I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go.
I'm a dinosaur.
We'll critique your text first.
Sorry. Okay, so if I
Okay.
want to create an account,
I'll just like immediately jumping out, like start free. I suppose it'd be clarified if there was copy there, Laura Mipson, but start the free trial.
nope, there's no more.
Sorry?
There's no more explanation below. Yep.
Yeah, I'm just like, I suppose, yeah, it'd help if there was copy just to give it context, I suppose. But I was just like, start the free trial of what? Is it free? Just, I know we've had.
Is it free? Let's see. Oh no, it's not free.
Yeah.
There you
Assume. So when we fleet to this sort of stuff before, it'd be, I don't know, copy below the button or something, just to say no credit card required, free for 30 days, or.
That improves your conversion rate.
Yeah.
Should I click it?
Yeah, I know.
Nope.
Yeah. No, click it. Go for it.
I'm gonna click it.
Back a bit.
Oh, it took me to the pricing page. Okay, so why?
I'd probably expect to go to a form there.
Yeah.
Of some sort, but
Okay.
I get that we have to choose our.
Yeah. I'd really like to choose that later, but I'm going to go be bold and choose the startup plan because it's the one that they've anchored me to in the center. You and I are so different. I'm like click.
Exactly.
I know. This is unnatural when we go slow down.
I'm gonna let Andy
We've
drive.
got different perspectives. Just chill out. We cannot ever drive together.
No.
Yeah, I'm not really quite sure. So just looking at the price and bands, like what a starter is. I've got a rough sense what a startup is, and scaling, I suppose, is pretty clear. But whether, in the context of like a business, whether you go, okay, I'm definitely scaling now, so I'll choose this, or what's the difference between a starter and startup? So yeah, immediately I'd have a little bit of trouble working out which bits suitable for me.
Okay. Yep.
As a contrast, I would have clicked the button immediately and then clicked the middle button immediately and then assumed that I would work it all out afterwards.
Okay.
Just say
Interesting.
just
All right.
as a contrast.
Okay.
I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm more just saying how different we are. Shall I click one? You can choose.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
He's turned off so much that he does not want to click on anything.
He does not want to click.
Bring back the GDPR thing. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah, just yearly, say, like monthly. Okay, so I was just having a quick.
It is cheeky to ask for a yearly subscription from a early stage startup.
Yeah, they're probably.
PS.
Yeah, I think just from what we've been looking at recently as well, it's felt maybe disingenuous to default to annual subscriptions.
I know what you mean. Feels like a
not
bait and switch,
disingenuous,
doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not quite the right word, but
That feels like a dark pattern.
possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, especially if it is a really nascent project, and you're just genuinely wanting to dip your toe in, it might feel better to default to nothing. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, click your buttons.
You
go
sure?
on. Yeah,
you sure I can click it? I mean, I can scroll down. There's stuff down here. Look.
That's all not real.
Okay,
just-
that's fine. I'm gonna click the center one.
Okay, you go for it. We're a startup.
Yeah.
What's a startup?
Okay, I've clicked and nothing's happening.
It
Oh
is-
my god.
yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I was like, all
Yeah,
that
you have to
debate and
actually
we
click it,
finally.
yeah.
Yeah, I am. Okay. Right. So I'm going to be me. Ooh, my email address out there for everyone.
You can use gelb at and then that URL.
Is that right?
Yep.
GELB?
Yep.
At briefingroom.co.
Name it a different thing to that,
Oh,
just
yeah.
so that you can see. Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
We're going to do so
I
many
thought you were
things.
gonna like
And then I'm just going to make.
a badger sanctuary or something.
Yes!
That'd be
We'll
nice.
change it to Badger Sanctuary.
Thanks. Always wanted to start.
Love
a
that.
sanctuary.
I think you're the right person for me to start a badger. Can we keep in touch? Would you like us to know about new features? This is the GDPR. I don't know you at this point, despite your assurances. No. Saws. Okay.
Why,
Buttons off screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Sorry.
So I was just pointing out that the button was off the screen, the marketer in me. Continue. But that wouldn't have stopped. Oh, I've done something wrong. Terms of service. Oh, there's a ghost.
Yeah.
It's just
So you have to-
interface and-
You have to click it
I'm
and just trust that it's there.
Oh, I see. I think you're.
It's
oh,
because I
dark.
already have it. So plus.
Okay.
Let's just
Plus
do
Badger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tiny wee thing that was under my forum.
Oh.
It's like, we've got horizontal.
Why a horizontal form, you mean?
Yeah, rather than
Okay.
like vertical.
Tabbing worked though. That's good.
Yep, tabbing worked. It was great.
Oh my God, we're through. Excellent.
Badger sanctuary.
Okay, so you wanted us to. That's interesting that that's back. Different domain, I suspect. Yes, that's why, maybe. We are informed. So you wanted us to create a room.
Or first off, I guess, like
First just look
explore it.
around.
Yeah, just explore
Okay.
it.
See what we say. What we see.
Say what you notice.
What do you say? See.
I know it's like a prototype. I'd expected like a sort of, hey, welcome to briefing room with some sort of indication of the initial step to take.
They call them blank slates at FreeAgent, don't
Blank
they?
slates.
Yeah.
I was gonna but yeah, that may be something
Like a
that
welcome
you're-
screen or
totally,
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
just run
Yeah.
it, but I'm sure that's something you'd integrate.
I kind of get it. I'm
Yeah.
a little confused by switch company, so I'd probably click on that. Oh, okay, I could create another one. Cool.
Okay.
Which I guess makes sense if you're a serial entrepreneur.
I suppose
I see what I would do next.
Yeah, I mean, I click around, but there might be a bit ambiguity about metaphor, room. Like, what's a
Does
room?
that mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go discover what is behind the ellipsis on the right hand. Okay, cool. Usual nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay, so what
Or
is
the
behind?
the 3 dots.
Yeah.
A fancy name for things.
What
What do you call a hamburger menu? Is it like, you know, the
Is
triple horizon or something?
I think you'll find
Or
it's a
like
royale
that,
with cheese.
That's what is it?
A royale with cheese.
Okay.
Just like a sort of general UX critique, like
Yep.
YouTube video session of like
Yeah.
but what's behind the ellipsis.
Yeah,
It's
that
really
would be a
quite
great
nice,
like
yeah,
title
behind-
for a
yeah.
YouTube talk.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
tangential.
so I wonder. I think I would maybe wonder: is this updates for me or updates for someone else? I'm going to click
Okay.
on them, and then I'd see that I haven't created any, and I'll be like, oh, so I make updates. Cool. So I get it. That's updates for my investors, and
Uh-huh.
then I'll wander into anything on updates, Mr. Irvin.
Yeah, no, I'd have the same
Yeah.
query. I think, yeah.
Manage your rooms and keep track of their activity. You have not added any rooms yet. How many rooms can I have? Press the Add Room button above to add your first one. I'm gonna be really cheeky. Oh, this looks different. I'm trying to click it.
Yeah.
Can I click it? No. Okay, it's up here.
You could click on it.
I knew I couldn't. I'm just being difficult.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Each room you create has its own list of members. Perfect if you want to keep your investors up to date via one room and your prospects via another. Oh, okay. Cool. Segmentation. Rooms or segmentation. What would you like to call this room? Shall this be our existing investors room?
Yeah.
So I would write that and then immediately worry that somehow they would see that, like in MailChimp.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So people, visitors to the room,
Yeah.
see the title or something.
Well, in
like,
MailChimp, if you give us a list and name, when they
Yeah.
go to unsubscribe, they see the name, and that often catches
I think
people
it's
out.
the same with Typeform as well, where
Yeah.
sometimes it, and that's
Like,
not
so
bad.
like what's private to you,
Yeah.
what's not.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're dealing with
yeah.
investors. It's all
Exactly.
terrifying.
My hideous existing investors.
The idiot
The
list.
bad, the
The
bad
nice ones that you're
investors,
like,
yeah. The difficult investors, the easy investors.
Yeah.
Like, there could be so many things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, save.
Well, I'm super impressed with how much you managed to build.
I know, there's so much. This is a product.
You can actually do stuff.
Like,
yeah.
this is a for real.
Well, I take full credit of it. You know, I've been slaving away for hours, just, you know, trying to
Congratulations
make you happy.
to you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Ben's not listening, but he's listening. He'll be listening in the
Well done,
in the
Ben.
future. Yeah, yeah. I'll
Poor
just take all
man.
your credit all the time, all day long.
Okay, so I see my room. I'm going to click into it because I'm like, what's happening here? I have not added any content. So this was interesting when you described it to me. I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen inside the room.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we? Ooh, I can preview it.
Mhm.
Let's add some content and then preview it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What the hell is a data? Oh, sorry. What is a data dot? I'm going to click it.
Yeah.
It's an ellipse.
Ellipsis.
Okay, nothing.
No, I think it's the way that you're.
Oh, it's
so
my
you-
clicking.
You just gotta tap.
Is-
Oh, look great.
Yeah.
I am so
You
bad at
just
this
gotta
clicking.
click. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything else.
Is this
That's it.
supposed to
No.
happen?
No.
Oh no, it's like reading list.
Okay, no. Here, you try and click it to make sure it's not just my clicking, and then we might realize that this is a
Yeah,
feature
this
that
is
doesn't
it.
exist.
No. Yeah. You're.
Are we just being idiots?
No. No, you're not.
Okay,
No.
good.
But there is a way that you should be able to get ahead. So.
Okay. Oh, next. Oh. Oh.
Naughty.
Oh, shall we proceed with data dots because I really want to know what a data dot is.
Sorry, I was confused there as well. So can we select multiple things? Or
No, just one.
just one, yeah.
I'm committed to the data dot.
I want to add a data dot.
Okay. What is this? Complete the form below to edit this record. Okay, there's a little content block. Is this spelled like on Contentful or something?
Yeah, it's just like a default.
Yeah, so this is either TBC or
Yeah.
super confusing.
You
Shall
can you
bit-
can add stuff. It's,
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Add
shall
a
we add
data
it?
dot.
Okay. You want some data? Give me some data. What's a badger sanctuary?
Yeah. 3 new badgers added.
New badgers for March. 3.
Okay.
Anticipated badger additions. 4.
Scaling badger acquisition.
I don't really understand how to express that as a numeral.
36.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Oh my goodness, what is this? Oh, there's dots. They're actually dots.
Okay, I like this. I don't quite know what it is, but I like the.
No, I'm thinking. Okay, let me think. Let me think about this. So you're talking to an investor.
Mm-hmm.
This is a room like a dashboard.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm got 3 new customers. Is that what the dots are?
Yeah, they could be. Yeah, I suppose. So yeah, when you put it in that context, it's a really useful way to give them data.
I thought you reordered within this thing, but you're reordering it alongside the other content.
Oh yeah. Preview.
Shall we add another one? You want to preview?
No, you knock yourself out.
Okay, let's add another one and then we'll preview. Okay, let's go with something less confusing. Do we have any images?
Yep, you can select.
Oh, I keep clicking it and not remembering that I have to click next. Okay.
Yep, you can browse. Nothing dodgy. I don't have a picture of badgers.
We're just gonna have to.
Let's do go to downloads.
Is Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel won't mind.
Okay. Aw, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
We are badgers.
I would maybe put like the C-suite in there instead, but badgers they're working. Shall we preview?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what the investor is going to see. Okay, I'm still confused about the dots.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get the concept of the dots. I just don't know how I'd use the dots.
Mm-hmm. I think for me I'd need a bit of a guidance as to what makes a good room.
What does a good room look like?
Yeah.
Like template room, example room.
Yeah. Or if you, that's a really good place to start actually. Like, what am I thinking of? Real-time boards. Whatever it's called now.
Miro.
Miro, that's the guy. It just has a lot of templates to start off, so you might want to add an image of your C-suite and dots about
badgers.
I think that and then it just chunks like 6 elements onto your dashboard.
Yeah, I always find fundamentally people always wondering, what is normal? Is this normal? I think if you can always answer that question.
Am I normal?
No. It's always a good thing. Okay, I'm just going to add some text because I'm just curious about, oh God, I keep clicking and expect, okay. Okay, wait, so this is really high level. I was just wondering what this was going to be like. So this is like, I guess this is like, I like how I'm doing all of this in all caps, by the way. It just felt right.
Is that how you think that investors love to be? It's their bandwidth, man.
Badgers, actually.
Okay, so this is...
How are there ways that you think that you could add
like Markdown
formatting or anything like that?
I had no idea that Markdown would be an option. Did you think it might be an option?
I didn't even.
We could look here.
Really helpful.
No, I didn't think that I could use that. I'm going to save that and then reorder it. Obviously, that doesn't have nearly as much presence as I was expecting for how little content I was able to put into it. Okay, so we've made a room, Andy.
Oh, it's a really nice room.
I feel like we're ready to talk to our investors.
Is that the only way that you'd reorder something? Just to check.
I think so.
Okay, cool.
Is there another way that you would reorder anything?
No.
It's like a fun...
Not anything that's jumping.
That wasn't a leading question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I was using this regularly, I'm wondering why there's like a sort of wizard to add content rather than like, I'm thinking, like Typeform will be, your actual content creation will be there and buttons to add the content are always accessible themselves.
You mean like they would be listed underneath there and you can
just so
click
it's a
that?
bit, it just feels a bit interruptive when you're sort of, but this might be a thing you only do a couple of times. So
it depends on how many rooms you make. I do think like a giant plus card and you just keep adding
just
could be
keep
quite
people
useful.
in the flow of adding content rather than,
Because you're kind of going back and forth. And,
but
although it's
again, I know it's
I get it. It's a very nice prototype.
It's
by
lovely,
the way.
isn't it? Yeah.
So I'm going to look at people. Okay, so this is where I keep trying to click that, where I add our investors, because in order to send an update, before adding this is interesting, before adding someone new to a room, we need to first add them to your main list. Well, what if I don't want them to go onto the main list? Use the form, what if I accidentally email them in the main list when they're on my bad list or my good list?
Would people be part of multiple rooms? Is that,
I suppose you could. You wouldn't have thought so, because you thought you'd probably keep it pretty clean, wouldn't you?
I'd assume so, but
It does seem weird that.
I was just thinking about that flow where why wouldn't rooms and people be integrated? So just to build that connection a little bit more strongly. So here's
adding
your
to a
here's
room.
the people in your room.
I think that's what I was expecting.
Just to build that, because now that they're separate tasks, maybe that anxiety might creep in that.
Well, I'm just generally always worried about messing something up.
Yeah, totally. So anything that you can build that,
especially with
assurance
people that are giving you
this is
money.
your room, these are the people in your room, and you're not going to offend. Anyway,
Shall we add an investor?
Yes.
I think somebody like really rich, like Reginald.
Oh, nice.
I feel like who's going to invest in a badger sanctuary?
Just Reginald.
We need a double-barreled surname. Have a double-barreled surname. Go on, hook me up. You're British.
Trumpton Smythe.
You really delivered on that.
Thanks.
And
I can't see comments. I don't know if comments are happening, but
Reggie. You just have Reggie.
Just Reggie. You would, because you're that Reggie at Hotmail. Definitely Hotmail.
Definitely a Hotmail user, Holden.
Okay,
What sort of notes would you?
That's my initial thing, but again, I'm really worried. Will Reggie see this?
I would want a lot of assurance about who sees what. As you're communicating with people that could really mess your life up.
Yeah, totally. I've written great bants for the walls, but I actually don't know what I would put in there because, who's it a note to? Is it a note to myself to remember? Is this like a CRM situation, and he's at this certain stage,
or maybe but possibly a bit more explicit about why you might take notes or like clues, internal notes. This is so you remember how much money they've given you or something.
Let's do that because Reginald was very generous. Oh, the pound. Yeah. What am I doing wrong with the pound?
He gave us 73p.
It's alt.
Okay, I found it. No, he didn't. He gave us 73
million.
Yes. He loves badgers. Okay, save.
Yeah.
Now, how do I add him to the room to give him an update? Nope. What's your guess?
I'd assume you go back to rooms and add people through there, but it might be nice to.
Okay. No.
Not gonna let you go too far, just because that doesn't actually exist
yet.
Okay, that's fine.
So don't worry.
Good to know. Well, you've got a few clues as to where we might have looked for it anyway.
Because I didn't see any interface elements and people, I'd probably expect checkboxes or something within that interface.
Yeah, like room 1, room 2.
Add them to your room, so I'd look there first.
Yeah. Okay, So shall we send an update? That's what he actually asked us to do, not create a person.
Oh yes, I forgot about the task. It's lost.
That's our badger sanctuary.
Yeah, I'd imagine like the garden.
Okay, so wait, what is this? Which room would you like to create an update for? On the next page, you'll have an opportunity to add content to the update, which is in addition to the content of our room. Okay, updates always remain in draft mode until you publish them. Thank you. Existing investors. So subject is like the email subject, right? Because this is something that if you hadn't told me that it was an email, I would have thought that it was an update that would be like appended to the bottom of the room or something like that. So we just built the new
set of sets. Do you like that? Is that what it is? Badger sets. Yeah.
I feel like there's a.
Oh, what? Yeah, doing an emoji.
Oh yes. Okay.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have not added any content to this update yet. But when I set the update to publish, the members of the room can view it. Okay, so it is going to appear on the room, but I need to add content to this. I do feel reassured by that draft there. That feels like, okay, I'm safe. Okay, we can add stuff. Oh, I keep clicking every time. So we're back. How much content can you put in here? Because if this feels like the affordance is very small on this. Let me just test the site. Oh, okay. So it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, okay, we're good. Would you like to add a piece of content?
No, I was trying to think of a badger pun of some sort.
That's the better use of your time,
not
absolutely.
Got the brain power right just now. Okay, yeah.
I think you might have peaked with a set of sets.
Yeah. Totally. Generally in life.
Okay, I'm going to add an image just for completeness.
So so we're adding content to one single update.
Is Michelle okay with this as well?
Probably, yeah.
Or shall I use Rachel again?
Use Rachel.
Okay. Save.
The face of the badger sanctuary.
Yeah. It's a lovely smiley photo for a badger sanctuary. So we've got 2 pieces of content. We have a subject line, which I think is going to be a subject line if we were to save it. Oh, now. This is fun. Draft active archived, but they talked about published earlier. So I think active is published?
Yep.
Archived. What do you think that does?
Archive.
I know, but like...
Yeah, I don't know where it go.
Shall we make it active?
Well, I don't know why it's archive either.
Shall we be bold and archive it?
Activate it.
Or activate it, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, a test. This is reassuring. Oh. Who's it gone to? What have I done?
Yeah. I suppose a send email test to a specific email address would be helpful.
Maybe the one I signed up with?
I assume so, yeah. I assume it's gone there, but...
Now I am full of trepidation. Buttons do not give me the assurance I thought I was going to get.
I think like in a comms platform, that reassurance exactly what's happening. And we have the same issue at FreeAgent where people are sending invoices to clients, and that's not obviously can be quite destructive. It's pretty serious, yeah. But you know, when you're in MailChimp or something and you're about to send an email to God knows how many people, that reassurance, it's just got to handhold them and give them so much support when I'm talking about people and me to make sure you're doing the right thing. And I know this is
test, but
I
had a colleague who used to call it the Reagan button because it took a team of advisors before she could press it, which always made me laugh. But yeah, that's exactly how I feel about anything.
Like the workflows, like actually you don't need to send it from this page, but it's create, preview, set to, I'm sure, and then you can actually see what you're going to send and then send. Possibly, depending on how many emails you send per day.
Because I don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what it's going to look like. Yeah.
So if I click save now, because I've marked it as active, is anyone who comes into that room now going to see my greeting and my photo?
I'm sure.
Shall we click it?
Click it.
Oh, Danae. Here we go. Oh, they're done. Congratulations. What? Oh, what's happened?
Yeah, just an indication of that has affected somewhere.
So I can preview it, but I just see this preview. But shall we go back to our room and see if it's on here? No. Let's go back to the room here. No.
It's not on there because it's not there yet.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, I feel like we have completed.
Go there, though. Yeah.
Excellent emoji support, by the way. I feel like we have completed the tasks that you asked us to complete. Would you like us to do anything else?
Maybe just explore any other options that you see and what you think about what either should be there or what you expect.
This is interesting because I would have expected, having done a fair amount of stuff in the app, that something would be on the dashboard. I don't really know what I would expect. Maybe it tells me how many things I sent or published.
Yeah, I suppose there's multiple users, like some sort of audit trail. You've done this, you've sent this. Jim, you also logged in, has seen this and done this.
That's a really good point, actually, because if you've got co-founders, it's like, who sent that? Like, were you going to send that?
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were going to send that. No, I didn't. No, you were going to. And especially if you're remote.
Yeah, exactly.
They're quite useful.
It would be multiple people using this, or some sort of idea of the activity on the account as a whole. If I know this probably won't be built, but if there's some sort of analytics about, I assume that would sort of exist here as well.
Yeah. Oh, that would make sense. So, like, you've had 5 email opens. People have viewed your room.
Yeah. Dashboard on that. Yeah, an activity from the stuff that you've created.
Okay, so that's what we might think we might see on a dashboard. Let's go to settings. I'm interested in. Okay. Company basics, branding and content. Oh, that's nice. So you can brand it in your kind of colors. Yeah. Do you have a favorite hex code?
CC000 to go with my jumper stripe.
Sweet. You guys can't see that on camera, but it's red. It's hot rod red.
Yeah, hot rod red.
Nothing has changed. I am disappointed. But I love the promise of it.
That's
okay. And team. Okay, so this is where I add my co-founder.
Oh right. Yeah.
Okay. I won't add you, but that would be cool.
You don't trust me.
You know what? You could go wild, and then like all of our investors
totally
might.
Right, yeah.
But what's interesting is usually when I get a box like this to add a team member, I get some kind of permissions, especially if it's like, talking to our investors. So like if it's not a founder but a member of the kind of team, but I need them to add stuff or something like that. Yeah. I want to get them to do something.
We have the permission set so that you'll be able to tick off like what rights they have for different rooms and what.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm in manage. Okay, I'm in settings. I just realized that I'm in settings.
There's I don't know why the navigation's changed. I think that's the only instance where it's.
How do I get out of here?
Dashboard. But yeah, it's probably.
No, I'm not out. I'm trapped. I'm out.
Hold on.
I'm back in. Okay, I get it. No, I'm not back in.
You're back to settings.
Oh, okay, yeah. Where was I?
You were in
I was in a
different settings.
Special place.
You're in a dream.
That's when I clicked. I was in a dream. It was a beautiful dream. It gave me the billing options. These are things that don't happen yet. No. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Okay, so I've got a free trial. I can change my password. I can change my. That's interesting. So I can change my profile, but there was a card that let me change it as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Cool.
I get it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Cool.
No worries.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any kind of, I don't know, closing perceptions or like what was it like going through that kind of experience? Is it, I don't know, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I think broadly I'm just a little bit confused with the metaphors more than anything. I think that's the thing I've had trouble
The copy.
getting my head around, like rooms, that sort of concept, and just, I suppose if it's a room, how we sort of bring it together to make it feel like a room.
Sure.
So there's people in a room, there's content in a room. It always felt a little bit disparate, but yeah.
Needs to be wrapped up somehow.
Yeah, possibly,
Yep.
Yeah, I think in terms of the problem that it's trying to solve, I think it's doing a good job of trying to solve that problem. I can't remember if one of the content options was PDF, but I was just trying to think, because like I'm working on a board pack right now, for example, and
Maybe
thinking
you want
about,
to host the PDF. You mean?
well, I'd like I have charts, so I could upload an image, but I've got a lot of charts and I want to annotate them, which I think is okay. I think I can put in description underneath the image.
Yeah, that's a really, I suppose, so the only imports image is that.
Yeah, and
which
I've got
might
like
be
a
enough,
Google
but,
Deck. Is there like a link option? But then maybe, I'm just thinking through how I would actually use it, because it's a little bit later stage of a company, but I'm actually doing this right now, and this is super interesting. And I think in general it makes a lot of sense. I think I was more same as you. I was confused about what is a room, who am I talking to, is it safe?
Who's going to see this?
No, really, is it safe?
Yeah,
Like all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the actual execution of it, made loads of sense.
Okay.
Super
Good.
interesting.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. That was
Just
really interesting.
and I guess just to show you how some examples, or at least what we were messing with.
Yeah.
So the thinking behind some of the dots, just because the thinking behind it is that you might just want to display something very quick that you don't expect. The average time that someone looks at a one-pager, for example, an investor looks at a one-pager, is about between 5 and 7 seconds. So when you're pitching someone, so we're thinking about like ways of trying to get information across that might just mean that you'll say, wait, hang on, what is that?
Yep.
Oh, they have 8 people. That's cool,
Thing
or whatever.
for limited people with
Limited,
limited
bandwidth and stuff like that. So
That makes sense,
we were trying to, because you hadn't added enough, you wouldn't see the blocks how they'd look, but ideally you'd then start to you could separate them in different ways, or you can have links.
Okay,
there's multiple.
cool.
It markdown.
I think we mentioned it earlier, but it does become a lot clearer once you see
Like an example.
It really
an
does,
example.
actually,
Exactly,
It really comes to life, so I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
Nice.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks so much for coming in and
That was fun.
spending some of your
welcome.
evening.
It
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Hopefully you found it useful. And I haven't been looking at any of the comments, but please go on. Let us know what you thought. Would you have acted the same way? Would you have clicked the buttons in the same way? And if there are suggestions about what kind of blocks we should be adding next, some people have been talking about like integrations, even if it's just simple integrations for you to pull in data to kind of improve some of that time, or file hosting. What are the permissions? Some people were asking about permissions, like are we going to be able to have granular permissions to like deactivate a certain block after a certain amount of time? That's all really good questions, and we don't know. We want to hear what you think. So thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thanks both. All right. We're done. We're done for the night.
We're doing a stand-up.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. We're not done for the night. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna switch.